Today, December 10th, will be my last day hosting the comment section and working for the Daily Wire. It is not true that I am being forced out. It was my own choice to leave. And believe me, this is bittersweet. I have had the most unbelievable 3 years helping to craft the show, building this community, and telling stories and sharing the truth every day. Through the comment section, you all have made me braver, more articulate, more thoughtful, more hopeful than I could have ever imagined. And I'm grateful that we spent this time together. And I'm grateful that the Daily Wire gave us a platform to grow this community.
Where's Weeby? Weeby, are you okay? Weeby, are you all right? I know you haven't been around in a while because you were probably spending all of that spare time moderating the Brett Cooper subreddit. Wait, where's she going? Do we know? Why did she leave? TYT, shut the up, chat. She's not going to TYT. No, I doubt it. I wonder what she does next, because like, I'm not gonna lie, I did feel like she was kind of carrying the franchise a little bit, especially as of late. I don't know how well she was doing recently, but last time I checked in with the comment section with what do you call it, Brett Cooper, like, look at that, this has 81,000 views in an hour, like 4.5 million views. Her videos outperform Ben Shapiro's videos by pretty substantial margins. Today's kids are shockingly out of control. 900,000 views. Did Trump make a mistake? 306,000 views. Like, she outperforms me. She gaps me. She gaps Ben. I think she's probably going solo dolo. She has been destroying most other commentators on her own network too. Ryan hired her to be a combat reporter for Dropsite. Yeah, she's going to Dropsite. She's going to Zeteo. She's going to do a partnership with Dropsite and Zeteo, chat. She's on the anti-Zionism beat. Yeah, no, her channel has been doing numbers. And I think a big part of that obviously is because it's like mass serialized, well-produced content overall. I don't agree with the sentiment she expresses. I will say that, you know, with a lot of money, the right does have a better job of elevating talent. Who do you think our audience is? Front selfie dads? I just can't figure out who this is for besides Weeby. I mean, there is clearly an audience for this content, and I think it's probably like horny millennial and older dads that are like right wing. I mean, let's look at one of their like banger videos and see who was watching in the comments. Today's kids are shockingly out of control. Send the bill for all damaged goods to her parents' guardians. Not disciplining your children is a form of neglect or abuse. Do you think these are Zoomers that are watching? Little girl was throwing glass, which is a danger to herself and others. Meanwhile, parents are getting arrested for letting 11-year-olds walk by the corner store by themselves. Is pure insanity. Discipline your children. Like, no, they're older people. I have a few family members, Zoomer and late millennial, who are very into her show, both men. She's a much more pleasant face to all of the madness that Ben Shapiro and all of the hatred that Ben Shapiro represents. And I think she also does a decent job of covering not immediately political subject matter, but with a very obvious, sometimes subtle, sometimes not so subtle right-wing tilt. And I think that goes a long way. That's what it is. The right has more will to pump money in that talent. The left has a belief that it must happen organically. Rare third post. What do you think? Yes, the right understands the value of propaganda. They are very effective at it. They put a lot of money into it because they recognize the value that propaganda has, because they know that their positions are oftentimes not great. This last week of coverage over the healthcare CEO shooter is a glaringly obvious indication of such things, because when people in a rare moment of clarity recognize who's actually harming them and demonstrate their carelessness and demonstrate their lack of interest in like punishing the criminal who engaged in this violent act, that's a terrifying prospect for the right. They never want that to happen. That's why they're desperately trying to shift the attention away from the story of Luigi Mangione. It's not just the right that's doing this as well. Liberal media. Notice how liberals are covering the story. Notice how independent media on the right is covering the story, and notice how similar it is to the way that the liberal media is covering the story. Notice how liberal content creators that are independent media that are covering the story. There are a lot of people who are directly doing this because they don't want people to recognize an instance where like CEOs are unconditionally considered evil. There are a lot of people who recognize the chaos that spells for the current order of business. Did you mention Brett Cooper leaving the Daily Wire? I covered it yesterday. She is leaving the Daily Wire. And something that's really interesting about that, I think it was Matt Lech that spoke on it. I saw it on the timeline. Someone tweeted a very interesting thing about that. They were like, notice how left media doesn't have these like contract negotiation time dramas Like end of the year, there's always like some sort of like weird shakeups happening. Like it was Steven Crowder before. Interesting how media shakeups happen around this time. Yearly contracts start expiring. Remember last year, Candace Owens was feigning anti-Zionism and Crowder was taking big con the year prior. Wonder if these sorts of career concerns ever influence lefty media behavior. That was a great take, honestly, from Matt Leck. It is truly interesting that Brett Cooper is the most prominent media figure, the most prominent media personality of Daily Wire. Like, straight up. If you look at her numbers, Brett Cooper is popping off. She's been carrying the Daily Wire. You're the Brett Cooper of the left? Okay, first of all, they literally ripped my and restructured in a very fake format the thing that I've been doing for years, but this time in an inauthentic way. But it doesn't matter because like they still popped off. They were able to do it in a very successful way. Like I will recognize that. And yeah, switch camera angles more. Yeah, this is what I gotta do actually. Like, what's up, guys? It's like, hello. What's happening? What's going on? Hi, I'm leaving the Daily Wire. Like, I'm leaving the Daily Wire. Hello. Yeah. There you go. I did it. Her room looks more organized than yours. Yeah, because that's not a real room, dummy. That's a set.
Bittersweet indeed. We're sad to see Brett go, but we're excited to see her take the next step in her journey. Brett's an amazing talent, both as a personality and as an actress. It's been a pleasure to see her bring the comment section to life these last 3 years.
She has better camera angles and lighting than you. Yeah, no. She has like a straightforward professional setup. You guys are comparing my independent individual operation to a multi-million-dollar structure. Like they are a multi-million-dollar company. I think Ben Shapiro is worth like $50 million, dude. They're so much larger than just like a couple million. Are we crazy? Did we forget Steven Crowder was offered by the Daily Wire a straight up $50 million contract? And he said, this is slavery. Here it is. Far right blowhard calls $50 million Daily Wire offer a slave contract. It's also not a better setup for what she is doing or what you are doing. You're doing a live stream. It's supposed to be a real person in a real house expressing their opinions. That's exactly what your setup indicates. Whereas hers shows you that it's completely made up. Yeah, but that's the difference. Like for the average onlooker, like they don't care, especially conservative audiences tend to be a little bit older too. And they don't give, like, they like it. Like I said, she presents a softer face on like right-wing commentary. She covers cultural issues and things like that. There's definitely an audience for it. And that's why she's been popping off. She's been popping off harder than Ben Shapiro has on the Daily Wire broadcast, which is part of the reason why I think she wanted to go solo dolo.
So, my friends, while I have you here, I thought we could run it back one last time with the comment section. And last night, I was sitting at my laptop, literally racking my brain, trying to think about what would be the perfect last episode. I mean, there was so much that happened over the weekend that I desperately wanted to talk to you about.
She's definitely fetishized too. I mean, I can't speak on that, but I'm sure there is that. Like, it makes sense. It is a misogynistic audience. I think a lot of ladies probably like her too. There's a lot of older men that like her. There's a lot of ladies that like her just because her Snow White movie fell apart. Do you think Ben and the Daily Wire in cope mode over this? I mean, I would be. If I had like a media franchise and I lost my star because I did not retain her talents by offering her a pretty solid contract, then yes, I would absolutely be a little bit shaken by it. You know what I mean? Have we discussed whether she looks like Ben Shapiro because of her views or if she has her views because she looks like Ben Shapiro? No, I think she was like a failed actress and therefore she just kind of looked like that. I don't think she had these views from the jump. I think like this is the failed actress route. With Ben Shapiro is like he was a failed writer, but he also kind of had these views from the jump. If she tries to be authentic, I suspect that she'll be less conservative broadly. But if she wants the hits, if she wants the clicks, if she wants the grift, she's going to have to be a lot more aggro and a lot more overtly right wing. So we'll see. So yeah. Are you telling me she's not related to Ben Shapiro? I know it sounds insane, but she's not related to Ben Shapiro. For the record, like with all the cutesy nonsense, like she's still over here talking about like how Jordan Neely deserved to be executed for being a scary nuisance. Just so you understand, it's not like she's a nice person. She just has the aesthetics. She presents the aesthetics of like a softer, gentler approach. Yeah, Brett's fans were all creepy old men fawning over a hot young girl streaming from her bedroom. That show was never about Brett giving actual political analysis. It was about using a cute young girl to reassure how right and in touch old conservatives are. There's a reason all the guys on Daily Wire have desks in offices and sets and smoke cigars where Brett is a colorful children's bedroom as hers. Yeah, I think they wanted to do a They wanted to make inroads with a younger audience. And like I showed yesterday, I don't think she made inroads with a younger audience necessarily, but she did definitely get a lot of play. She was kind of carrying the franchise a little bit. Like, she was the Daily Wire's most successful entity. I think it's really interesting that, like, what I've been doing, and this isn't like me gassing myself up. Like, we saw this with Turning Point USA and other right-wing groups. When they had like their documents leaked, they openly were talking about having like emulating what I do. And this is the process. Like, they literally were like, let's make a show of someone who is like fake streaming from their bedroom or from their living room, whatever, in an identical fashion to what we've seen with other successful media products in the political sphere. This, which is crazy. That means that they're not only watching, but also, you know, they're emulating it. Honestly, though, does she really think she would get the bag on this? She's a woman working for a very conservative right-wing media group. They would be happy to let her go so they don't have to pay her more. To be fair, they did stream every once in a while. Yeah, but they're probably ass. Like, look at those streams, dude. They're an hour long, and I'm sure that they were very controlled. And notice how little views they got, except for, I guess, live from Buckingham Palace.
We're actually here. I think they thought we were faking when we said that we were going to be at, look behind us, Buckingham Palace.
We are here.
The day of the coronation. How exciting.
Wow, both of the girlies that are no longer with the Daily Wire. Look at that. And then also on top of that, like, raiding the memes with the original meme lord.
I haven't really ridden recently, but we do need to do a horse girl video at some point. Okay, moving on. Okay, that's good. That looks like every person that I react to in a TikTok. This is basically...
This is so... Dude.
Because I don't really care if you guys see my screen. I don't have anything incriminating on this. What is that?
You guys don't remember this? I don't remember this.
No. Am I supposed to know?
It's a good reaction meme, though.
Yeah.
No wonder this is like obviously a very clearly streamlined process that they made. Twitch experience, but for boomers. Yeah. I can radicalize Candace. I'll fix her. She just needs to give me a chance. Okay, stop. Candace Owens is, Candace Owens is radicalized all on her own. Trust. Okay. She's radicalized in a different direction and not in a direction where you can do anything with that. I wonder if am I still blocked by Candace? Oh, maybe she unblocked me. Oh no, I am still blocked, but I can now see people beyond the block. Shouts out to Twitter for that. Making an important announcement today on the show. I've been joined by most special guests to discuss that announcement. This will be the most important piece of content I've ever shared. It premieres in 38 minutes. You think she's going to link up with Brett Cooper? I doubt it. Because the way I see it is like, Candace is I mean, she's too toxic. She also does really well. Okay. She does really well. Make no mistake. Like, she is overtly anti-Semitic, but more importantly for the conservative movement, it's not the anti-Semitism that's a problem. That much is clear. They literally hired her knowing full well that she was anti-Semitic. She's also an anti-Zionist on top of that. She's anti-Semitic, but also anti-Israel. Well, that's a bridge too far. That's completely unacceptable. And she got fired for it from the Daily Wire for that reason. So I don't think someone like Brett Cooper, unless they are ideologically committed to presenting themselves or collaborating and aligning with like someone who is an overt anti-Semite, I doubt that she will do that. Does that make sense? But maybe I'm wrong. You were wrong about the Queen. Yeah, I mean, the Queen is probably like Candace. New former Israeli President Reuven Rivlin. Relations between Israel and Queen Elizabeth II were difficult because she believed that every Israeli was either a terrorist or the son of a terrorist. I think the Queen probably has a different approach. You know what I mean? I don't think she's like a diehard anti-Zionist necessarily, but in the Candace Owens type. I suspect she's on the Candace Owens category. Well, I mean, also she was alive when they did do terrorism. If you listen to my Oxford and Cambridge speech, I brought this up, but like the people that did the acts of terror that were responsible for the King David Hotel like bombing campaign that killed a shit ton of people, that killed like 91 people, were never allowed back into the UK because they were considered terrorists. They were designated terrorists. That was the British, the King David Hotel bombing was the British headquarters in British Mandate Palestine, and the early Zionist militias, like they did an act of terror there, and that's the reason why I think she's saying that. I don't think there are a couple things here. I don't think the Queen is necessarily anti-Zionist. I think she's more anti-Semitic. You know, she's right for the wrong reasons. I should have said was, because she's dead. Anyway, I have noticed that like there is definitely a lot of motion on right-wing commentary, but like not in the original, not in the OG right-wing commentator sphere. there's a lot of motion outside of that. If I were to put this on a spectrum of right-wing sentiment to get back to the Brett Cooper situation, you have the Daily Wires that are on a downtrend. Okay. You have the Daily Wires that are on a downtrend. You have the Steven Crowders that are dying, right? Like they're done. They're cooked. But then there's a crop of like much edgier, much more insane right-wing content creators out there, like the Candace Owenses of the world and the Tyler Hitler Veras of the world, and even someone who like Asmongold, who have leaned into this like I like the Tyler Oliveras of the world attitude, and those guys are popping. Like they are putting insane numbers on the board. They're putting numbers on the board like I've never seen before. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit meta chasing in the case of Asmongold, I would say, because I don't think he has like a coherent, consistent world view that revolves around consistently hitting like right-wing talking points. But I mean, look, the shock of truth we just found out, CEO killer, like his company suddenly no longer care about DEI after Trump's win. 1 million views. Like he's always had a relatively socially conservative bent when it comes to like DEI, wokeness in video games, and he has found a comfortable space in talking about right-wing politics in general. His views, his pixelated titties are good and woke is bad. Yeah, this stuff is banging. He's like super basic right-wing, like look how stupid the liberals are content is popping off. Now, having said that, outside of that space, like the Candace Owenses of the world are popping off as well. A lot of people also in the podcast sphere they're getting tremendous play. All the top podcasts are incredibly right-wing. You got Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson. Like, I'm not even talking like regular old Republican right-wing. I'm talking like Christian nationalists, openly saying like insane, hysterical about Christianity, leaning into overt anti-Semitic sentiments. It's bad. It's not good, folks. It's bad. Some of them are connected with the manosphere. A lot of those manosphere guys, in the way that they're leaning into like right-wing commentary, they've also increased the stakes a lot. All the while, we're still here.